Namaste and greetings from Indic Academy. We welcome Shri Suryanarayana Ji to this special conversation where he will talk about his Vedic journey as well as a new project where we will look at how a Gurukula, Vedic Gurukula, can be run in modern times. So,
Namaste,
sir,
ma'am. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Could you tell about your initial training and your own experience with Gurukula? How was education imparted to you about our Vedic knowledge as well as our how to apply this Vedic knowledge to your own way of life? Can you tell me?
So I have to give you a small backdrop. What happened? So my father was a marketing executive. So he is from a very Laukika background. He's just like any professional. So he had this opportunity to roam around India many a times. So he had this opportunity to converse with different kinds of people like Siddha yogis, like Pithadipatis, Sannyasis, gurus, mantra drashtas, and many other people. So from the beginning, he has this idea to introduce us to the Gurukula system. So he was definite that India needs Gurukula training. He was definite because of his vast exploration of different personalities. So that's how we were introduced to Gurukula. So myself and my brother, both of us had the training in a normal convent kind of a thing, a normal school till 7th and 5th. I have studied till 7th class. So after that, my father took us to our Guruji, whose name is Vishnu Bhatla Shri Krishna Ghanapati. So he's a very well-renowned Shri Krishna Yajurveda Pariksha Adhikari. He's also the, examiner in different Veda-related parikshas. So that is how our journey into the Gurukula system happened. So we have studied a little bit of Veda, Krishna Yajurveda. And after that, fortunately, we were also introduced to the Shastric traditions. So we have to understand that the Gurukula training is different for each and every branch. So the Vedic training is different, a little bit different. So in the Vedic training, the focus is mainly on how is the mantra taught? How is the student learning the mantra? The focus is mainly on learning mantras. But in Shastra, it is the opposite. It is on contemplating on the meaning. It is on contemplating on the thought process. It is on understanding the world. It is on getting the world views. It is on applying what you have learned in different Shastras in the regular world, the actual world. So we were also fortunate to be trained in that. And again, we are always very grateful to our teachers. So it is a very interesting story. So how we entered into the Shastric world. Very few people are now trained in Shastras. It would be around a few hundreds of people actually completed the full-fledged Shastric training. It's not more than a few hundred people. Because the first thing is that there are very few trainers. Actual Shastra Gurukulas are very few. And the people were also not oriented. Why should somebody learn Vedas or Shastras? We have many Veda Pathshalas. There are many Veda Pathshalas in the south, in the north. There are many things, but very less Shastra Pathshalas. So it started like this. One day we were just roaming on the road. We eventually started talking with our future guru on the road itself. We don't knew that each other also. My Shastra Guru, Shri Ambadipudi Venkata Radheshama Sharma, he is also graduated from the same Veda Pathshala where I and my brother were also trained. We didn't knew that. it is after 10 years. So we just met on the road, and eventually he became our Shastra Guru. He identified that myself and my brother, both of us are having this taste to actually learn Shastras. The bent of mind and the critical, analytical brains we have. That is how he identified us. And from the beginning, to enter into Shastra, we have to be trained in Sanskritam. So at that time, we were literally illiterates in Sanskritam when we met our Guruji. So he made us learn everything from the beginning. They say in Sanskritam, Rama Shabda is the starting point. From Rama Shabda till giving Maha Pariksha in Tenali. So we were trained under our Guruji, and we are very much grateful to him. He not only taught us Sanskritam and Tarka Shastra, but also we learned that having a family is blissful. Means we were seeing my Guruji and my Guru Patni, we were staying with them. So how sweet it is to actually build a family. How can we actually accommodate others? That's what we learned there. So we have also learned how to maintain a house, how to talk with others, how to talk with strangers, and all those things in that period. So my schooling and everything was in Hyderabad. So my regular Western education is in Hyderabad. And after that, we moved to a small village near Tenali, which is in Andhra Pradesh, where we have completed some parts of Veda. From there, we moved to Tirupati, where our Guruji Ambati Radheshyama Shastriji was residing. So we have started there, and we have continued our Shastric studies in Kanchipuram. That is one another blessing we have. So every Thursday, me and my brother and others also, we used to attend a Sadas. Sadas is a small gathering of Pandits where each Pandit actually interact with others. So we had an opportunity to actually interact with many scholars who were there at that time. I'm talking around 2006 to 2010 and 11. In that time, every Thursday, we used to spend at least 2.5 to 3 hours with them. So we used to present what we have learned that week. So it is like we tell that as Chintanam, and that interaction is called as Vakyartha. And I proudly say that Guruvara Sadas is my one another great teacher, where I could actually interact with many scholars from Mimamsa, Vedanta, Vyakaranam, Tarka, and we have presented at least some hundreds of Vakyarthas there. So that actually molded how should we think and how should we present. That's where we gathered. And after learning, completing Maha Pariksha, Maha Pariksha is a very prestigious Pariksha, which is conducted by Shri Kanchi Veda Vedanta Vidvat Sabha. So the actual location is in Tenali, and it is famously called as Tenali Pariksha. So we have completed that Tenali Pariksha, and there is one last Pariksha which is called as Maha Pariksha, the conclusion of Tarka Shastra. So where that happened in Kanchipuram itself, and we successfully passed out of that. So after passing that, we had many doubts. What should we do? So by that time, we are around 22, 23 years old. So we had a lot of time, and my father, my parents are very helpful. So they encouraged to study further. So by that time, we were also completing our mainstream education. We have completed our BA, and we have enrolled into our MA also in Sanskrit. Excuse me. At that time, we thought that we have to be trained in Vyakarana also, because Tarka is a Shastra which is dealing with reasoning and debating techniques, which is dealing with the thought processes, which is dealing with discourse analysis and many things. So if we have some more training in Vyakarana, it might help. That's what we were thinking at that time. So we studied Siddhanta Kaumudi, that is one large book on in Vyakarana. We have studied under Ganti Tattatreya Murtiji. So he is also situated in Kanchipuram at that time. So after completing that, different what you say signals have come that we have to study Vedanta. So it's like we have a great guru in Andhra whose name is Shivananda Murthy. His name is Brahmashri Shivananda Murthy. He is very famous. So we went to his ashram in Bhimli near Vishakhapatnam. So he actually asked, why are you studying Vyakara? After studying Tarka, you need to study Mimamsa or Vedanta. Why are you wasting your time? That's what his phrases were. So after that, when we reached back to Kanchipuram, we also got other signals from elders that it would be very nice if you further study Vedanta. So that is how we have entered studying Vedanta under the great scholar, the one and only Maha Mahopadhyaya Brahmashri Manidravada Shastrigal. So just remembering his name itself will give immense energy to all his students. Whenever we just see his face, we feel that yes, this is the accomplishment, or this is why we have won. So that is the kind of experience we have with our Guruji. So we have stayed near him for 3 years, and we have completed the Prasthanatraya, famously told as Prasthanatraya. So Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, Upanishad Bhashyam, and Gita Bhashyam. And there are some other Prakarana Granthas also which we have learned from him. So by this time, the timeline is around 2016-17. So from 2006 till 16 and 17, we were in Adhyanam only. Totally dedicated to Shastra Adhyanam. And by this time, we have also completed our MPhil from University of Madras, and also completed one another post-graduation from University of Madras, and one post-graduation from SV Sri Venkateshwara University, which is situated in Tirupati. So simultaneously, the mainstream certifications are going on, but our main focus is on Maha Pariksha, and we were doing that. So by this time, I was also married. So I ought to earn something. So that is our education. Now starts our actual profession. So I have established a small Shastra Pathashala in 2017 in Hyderabad. Its name was Shri Kameshwari Shastra Pathashala. This is the foundation of the Gurukulam which I have established again in Hyderabad. So this is the foundation. So 1 year I have maintained that Pathashala. I understood many things about education, Shastric education in particular, in that 1 year. Because society is not ready to be educated in only Shastra at that time. That's what I felt. Even though I was focusing on getting people who have completed their Adhyanam in Veda, those people were also not motivated or not oriented to actually directly jump into Shastric studies, because they don't know what to do with that. And the society is also not ready to actually directly take Shastra. So at that junction, I was again blessed. I have this Guru Anugraha every time. So I was again blessed with a person called Susarla Sai Ramakrishna. So he is famously known as Sai Susarla. So he founded an institute called MIT School of Vedic Sciences in Pune. So one fine morning he called me and told, Suryanarayana, people like you who are trained in Shastras should come to mainstream education system, and we have to create such courses which are applicable to modern time. So we have to paraphrase certain concepts. We have to design certain technologies. So that's what he told us. So that is how I left my Pathshala, means I have temporarily closed it, and I came back to Pune. So where I have worked with him in Pune for at least 2 years. So in that 2 years time, from 2020 to 2021 half or 2022, so I got a lot of confidence now. So previously I was amazed, why did Parameshwari gave me these skills in different shastras. I didn't knew. So after working 2 years there, I understood why I was blessed with these trainings. To actually, I feel that I am a bridge. I am a bridge between this modern thought processes and our shastric thought processes, where my father's background gave me the perfect atmosphere or environment to understand the present day, wherein because of my different gurus anugraha, we had actually understood what is the actual structure of different shastras, and how each and every shastra have an internal connection. It is a network. We cannot say that Tarka has nothing to do with Vyakarana, or Vyakarana has nothing to do with Tarka, and Vedanta is totally alienated from these shastras. It's not like that. Everything has something to do with other. So it is an nicely woven thing. So that I have understood when I am working with Saiji. So there we were actually teaching BSc Integral Psychology, MSc Vedic Sciences. Integral Psychology is the integration of both Western and Oriental concepts of psychology. In the same way, this MSc Vedic Sciences, so where the shastric knowledge or the shastric wisdom is paraphrased in such a way, is taught in that conceptual way that the present day learners can actually relate with. So that's what I was exposed to. So after that, I have moved again back to Hyderabad. Always my target is Hyderabad, because I feel the creamy layer of both Telangana and Hyderabad are settled in Hyderabad. So we want to actually make an actual impact, long-lasting, sustainable impact, shastric impact in Hyderabad, so that we could create the next generation leaders here. So that is how I came back. Even though I'm working with different institutions now, like I'm working in Siddhanta Knowledge Foundation, which is situated in Chennai, where we curate courses. In the same way, I'm also working as an adjunct faculty in MIT IIKS. This is another sister concern of MIT SVS, which I was working earlier. So this is the background.
It's really wonderful to know about your own personal journey, and you could be, somebody, that a youngster who has doubts whether to go into this fully, would be very inspired, and be, their fear of the future would be removed by seeing your personal example. Because most of us are concerned about the economics of our future, like, how do we make a living?
I want to actually add some things here also. See, in this journey, I believe that whoever is valuable, he will not be left alone or not respected by the society. He will be followed. He will become a leader, and he will get all the respect he ought to get. So the only thing is that we have to understand Loka. So that is why I say many a times, we need to have Loka Drishti and Shastra Drishti. And because of the training and anugraha of our elders, we can have the samanvaya, how to apply Shastra Drishti in the Loka, and how to understand the main problems using the Loka Drishti. So in the future also, I feel that the professions will be changing. It's not the old thinking that everyone will be placed in a university. So generally now, whoever is trained in Shastra or Samskrita, they feel that they will be placed in a university, in a government university or a private university. I don't think that is the future. The future is for that person who envisages an application, who envisages a solution, who has the ability to think in different thought models, understand the same scenario from different viewpoints, and come up with the best solution which he can give. So for that, he need to be trained in Lokadrishti also. He should know what is happening, why, what are the sciences or thought processes which are going behind the technologies, and also he should know the Shastric knowledge so that he can see those problems from Shastric view and give a solution. So it can be an app, it can be a service provider, it can be anything. So I say that if you are studying Shastra, you can become anything. I say, see, Jagu, we have many leaders now who are Shastra Pandits, according to me. Jaggi Vasudev ji is a Shastra Pandit. Yes,
Right.
he's a
One
Shastra
very
Pandit.
interesting example, similar to what you're saying, was given by a botany teacher in a very popular JEE NEET coaching center in Bangalore. So he was saying, like, the surgeons of the future, it's not enough for them to know only medicine. He has to know physics and chemistry also. So a person who is only, knows medicine will not be able to in a very complicated case, will not be able to see different dimensions of the problem. So you're giving a similar example where a person with a Shastric background will be able to see many aspects of the same problem, which a person only from an English or Western education, however, advanced it may be, may not give that 3D vision which our Shastras may be able to give.
And there is one another filter. So to actually amplify your training in Shastra, you should be initiated into the Anushtana. That is one another thing we all believe in. Unless you are initiated in the Anushtana, you are not getting the larger perspective, because our Shastrakaras are first Anushtatas. They are directly connected with the source energy. So that is why in less time they could actually create many n number of models. Same person, for example, recently Indica also has conducted a seminar kind of a thing on Appaya Dikshitendra, Srimad Appaya Dikshitendra. So we have Shastrakaras like him who are multi-talented in different Shastras. And those Shastras are contradictory to each other also. So he could switch from each personality and envisage this entire creation according to that Drishtikona. Okay, that is the kind of ability we get when once we are initiated into the Anushtana. So, yeah.
You had a conventional education before you, you started at the age of 7, you say, or 5, is it? Your brother and
No. We have studied in school, regular school, till the age of 11, 13. Okay. So I have completed 7th standard in a school called Shri Aurobindo International School. And one another thing, because of studying in Aurobindo International School, we had this opportunity of meditating every week. So we are introduced to yogic concepts and the meditative techniques in very tender age. So that is also one another training we got in the initial stages.
What would you suppose, like in your Gurukula, like the Kameshwari Gurukula, what would be the prime age at which children should be entering this kind of education?
Yes. So I should give you a small background of re-establishing this Gurukula also. So after completing 2.5 years of work at MIT SVS in Pune, I was thinking, what happens to my kids if I continue living in Pune? because our day rotates around Anushtanam. It is all, our Kuladevi is Shri Kameshwari. So from the morning till night, we are always around her only. And somehow in Pune, I could not get that environment because I was living far away from the city. So it's called Loni Kalgor, so where we are situated. By that time, my elder son is around 8 years old and my younger one is around 7 years old. So now I have started thinking, what will I become if I stay here for 10 years? I might become a HOD or dean or something else. I might have 1 or 2 cars and good what is a respectable, financially respectable position. But if I rethink and contemplate what I wanted to become and what my family I envisage, what kind of a family I'm envisaging. So if I contemplate on these two things, I cannot relate if I stay in Pune. So that is how I made my mind, and fortunately, my grahasthiti was also very nice. So I could get a job in which I could work from my home. So that is how I landed in Hyderabad. Then we restarted the Gurukula, and now we have slightly changed the concept of the Gurukula also because of this experience. It is called Sri Kameshwari Center for Vedic and Shastric Studies. So by this time, I understood that if we are learning Vedas separately and Shastras separately, to actually think in a collaborative way and do the samanvaya, it might take a lot of time. For example, there are many people who complete their Vedadhyana and they don't even touch Shastra. And there are many examples who complete their Shastra Adhyana and they are not knowing any part of Veda. So my experience, because of my experience and our Guru's guidance, we thought that we have to combine both of them, Veda and Shastra. If we are only teaching them Vedas and Shastras, it's not enough because we need to have the Lokadrishti also. So the Vedadhyana is the foundation for everything according to us. Vedo khilo dharma moolam. So Vedaha eva dharma sarvasya moolam. So Veda is the foundation for everything. All the knowledge processes or studies initiate from Veda. So our Gurukula students should get good training in Veda. And simultaneously, for example, if a 10-year-old is starting his Gurukula Adhyana, 60% of his time will go into Veda Adhyana. 20 to 25% time will be going into the Laukika Adhyanam, because at the age of 10, he is not knowing many languages. Knowing different languages is very important. So we'll invest 25% of time into Laukika Adhyanam, and the rest will be given to the Shastra Adhyanam. And we have created a 7-year plan actually till now. And the entry point might be 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. It's varied because we have students from all these age groups. We have my own second child is 8 years old. I have one more child of 8 years old, and I have 2 children who have started 11 years at 11 years. So it is different, but we want to do that synergy, the samanvaya of both of them.
Like when it is not very formalized, the kind of structure, like your entry level can be at any age, they can catch up. So what is there a pressure from parents or on parents for you are talking about the real world also, but like for instance in JK's schools, Valley School and all that, they say there are no exams. But when these children come out of these schools, they are under tremendous pressure because they are back into mainstream competition. They love that education. They will love your Gurukula. But when they finish, they're back into this normal, stressful environment of education. What will they graduate in? Can we regularize that?
And I will say my own view on that. So to regularize anything, you are actually ignoring some parts or some abilities of somebody. Regularization is equal to industrialization. It's like batch-wise production of something.
Yeah.
Once you think in that way, you will not create leaders. The tagline of our Gurukula is to create future gurus. Future guru is nothing but the future leader. So each and every person will have a different ability inherited. For example, some of my Gurukula students have this very good skill of picturizing anything. Okay, that is his vending point. That is where he is getting the bliss. The entire process of teaching and learning revolves around delight. Both the teacher and the learner should actually experience that delight. Whenever we try to regularize something or create some processes which are not dynamic, see, we have to create processes, but those processes should be dynamic so that the learners and the teachers, both of them should be in the advantage. I always say that teachers also learn many things while teaching. They actually get bliss when they are actually creating new methods to introduce our age-old concepts. So we are trying to give that space to both learners and teachers here. This is an experiment. This is not proved. I admit it. But we are giving ourselves some time, some space, and we are moving a little bit away from the rat race. We are trying to move away from the rat race. The other part which you have asked is, when people are trained in such creative methods, when they go back to the society, they feel the pressure. That's what you are saying. But I say, training in Gurukula is not very away from the society. Gurukula training has a lot with responsibility. Every day, the learner who is staying in the Gurukula has many responsibilities. So, whenever you are facing the actual world, working is equal to taking responsibility. Growth is equal to taking greater responsibilities. So when a person is trained in Gurukula, he will be trained in all the processes which are involved in Gurukula. He is responsible. If I don't get flowers, one kid in the Gurukula is responsible for that. If I don't get curds in the morning, the other person is responsible for that. For each and every process, there is a person who is responsible. So responsibility is given from the beginning. So we have also designed a innovative program where we are teaching our Gurukula students how to design apps. And we actually want to create an app where the developers are our Gurukula students. So this is to actually give them responsibility and feedback, how they go into the society and get the feedbacks. In the same way, they are getting a kind of feedback in the Gurukula also. And the other very interesting element in our Gurukula is that we have students from 4 families in our Gurukula. It's a very small one. I don't have any ambition to grow it like where I cannot handle them. So 4 families are involved right now, and all the family, each and every family is also involved in teaching, is also involved in other processes related to Gurukula. One of the family brings the vegetables every week. One another family excuse me, take care of geography and Purana, Itihasa Purana aspects. So in that way, it is not a single man army. We are growing like a family, and the family here is Shastra Parampara. The Parampara is of 2 types. So we are growing in the Shastra Parampara kind.
Okay. You also mentioned that some of the courses will be online, available online.
Yeah.
So, how do we convey the spirit? Like, you've had wonderful experiences with your gurus, and
Yeah.
can you imagine a world where you would have been taught online by, for instance, in Kanchipuram, where you didn't have face-to-face
Yeah.
interactions? Is it, in many ways, are they losing out by this, or is it better to have something than nothing at all?
Yeah. So I shall again give you some more background. So we work offline and online also. So in online, we are targeting three kinds of audience. Number one is people who are actually trained in Gurukula, in other Gurukulas, like people who are Veda Panditas, who are Smarta Panditas, Archakas, who completed their Gurukula Adhyayana, but in Gurukulas, the present day Gurukulas also, there are many lacunas. Like if you take any Veda Gurukula or Smarta Gurukula, they are not trained in Sanskritam. They are not introduced with any Shastra. They don't know how many Shastras are there. They don't know how to do the Samanvaya. Even though all the Karmakanda which they are following is in Sanskritam, they don't know that language. Because they don't know that language, they don't have the key to open the door. It is shut. They know that it is full of surprises and a lot of solutions, but they don't have the key. So we have created some online courses for them, so which will be the key to the door, and we have very good response from those areas right now. And the second area we are targeting is people like you who are astikas, value our Sanatana Dharma, and who are now looking for different avenues, how to open the door, how to know more, how can I know and utilize Shastra. So those kinds of people, that is our second target group. So we have created some online courses for them also. And the third group is their children. So the people who are interested and their kids. For them, we have recently started this Vijnana Gurukulam co-schooling program. And also we have conducted a summer camp last summer. So we are gaining lot of experience. We are building a lot of material. We want to build an entire textbook series which can be used by the Gurukula the mainstream students to understand the Shastras. So these online programs can be used as teasers. There is a lot more when you actually have a direct interaction with a guru. So that's we are showing, and also, as you have said, it is better to have something than nothing. So it is always better, and we are trying to give that experience to them, continuous feedback in different levels. So that is how we are working right now.
Also, another thing you mentioned is that you plan to start some activities in North India. So, given within South India itself, do you find a lot of changes in tradition, like between Kanchipuram and Andhra, for instance, or between Kerala and same Vedic heritage? You see a lot of variation within South India. So, how do we make it pan-Indian, where Northeast has a very different kind of the same Shastra will have ritualistic differences in the Northeast. It will have in Kashmir you go into a different zone. So how do we make something like this pan-Indian, or should we not, again, should we not try to regularize, but how do we speak a common Vedic language across India?
So I will give you an example from a very mouth-watering dish, pulihora. So in Andhra we have this pulihogara. We say that pulihogara in Kannada and Tamil. So if I go and eat this pulihora in next to my door with my neighbors, the taste is very different. So if I am traveling for 100 kilometers, the taste of that same dish will be different. Okay. So having different tastes and styles is our strength. That's what I say. Variety is a strength. So I don't think we have to regularize or say that we have to have a common ritualistic processes and all. No, because the South Indians, that too, people who follow Sringeri has a different style. People who follow Kanchi is different. People with different gurus are also different, because that guru actually creates a particular process which is suitable to that particular shishya also. In some instances, the same guru teaches the same kratu or the anushtana paddhati differently to different students, different sadhakas. So that is our strength. So we have such techniques where we can change a little bit and adjust to that particular mentality and personality. So we should not try, but we have to know what is working behind it. What is the real intent of that particular process? So that is where Shastrakaras come in. So Shastrakaras know how to do the Samanvaya. The practitioners practice that in different way. So that is the unique trait we have.
One more thing is like, for all of our traditions, we say that what is the main purpose, whether it is Shastric study or whether it is, practicing in yoga or Natya, dance or Shastriya Sangeet. Finally, it seems to be our inner journey. So that is one aspect. The other is its manifestation in the secular world, where we try to either get popularity or do. So when we have different organizations, we have Vedic Patishalas which are run very differently from other organizations, which, like you have Chinmaya Mission, you mentioned Sadhguru, we have AOL, which are on the more of a secular plane, trying to get mainstream people into the dharmic fold. So where is what part of it is the focus on the inner journey, and what part of it is on the accumulation of knowledge for the secular or the material life in a Gurukula?
I think there are Gurukulas are now situated in, as you said, Kanchi Math is also having many Gurukulas. Sringeri Math, Pujya Shri Bharati Tirtha Mahaswamigal is also directing different people to establish Gurukulas. We also have Gurukulas from Chinmaya Mission, Ravi Shankarji's institution, and Jaggi Vasudevji's institution, and other institutions also. The ultimate goal might be the same. So as you have told, the inward journey is what everybody is targeting. The style and the level of intensity is what different. So in an actual Sampradayika Gurukula, like we follow Kanchi Matham, because I was trained there, and we have a lot of connections with Maha Pariksha and the present Balaswamigal also. So we actually follow the Kanchi Parampara. So while we are following a certain Sampradaya, the Sampradaya is the boundary. We don't want to exceed it and go beyond. Because we have the belief that our Purvacharyas are very mindful to create such boundaries for people like us. The people who will be trained in our kind of a Patashala will be having more intense, in-depth knowledge. That is for sure. Their beliefs are solidified. They will not be wavering or doubtful whether this is right or that is right. It will not be like that. It is precise. Shasti the Shastram. It's like the Shasanam. There is no other doubt. But whereas you have used the word secular, but I don't think we have to use that word. But for a larger crowd, where we can accommodate a larger crowd, where we can accommodate different kinds of people, I say that those are the breeding grounds for our kind of a Gurukulas. I would say the parents who are now involved in our Gurukulas are once part of those kinds of institutions. I directly see that. Some of them are from Ramakrishna, but some are from Isha the Paddhati. Some are from Ravi Shankar ji's thing. So that is the capturing or filtering area where the Astikas feel that yes, I have to be attached to that. Once they are attached to that, they will know the breadth and depth of Shastras. Then they are getting the confidence that the next generation should be living according to Shastra. They have to know what is Shastra. That is the only answer to the coming problems. That's what they confirm there. And then they are sending people, their kids to us. So I don't think all of us are working in different directions. We all are working in one place towards the same goal, but in a different style.
Just a couple of more questions. One is, do you see Shastra as something that is fixed, or is Shastra something that evolves with the times? For instance, a lot of controversy is whether, women should chant the Vedas or specific parts of the Vedas. So obviously our Shastras are not very rigid. They have evolved with the needs of society. So for you, what would be the reference point when, if you are questioned about, is this okay or is this not okay in today's society? Would it be what your gurus said, or what your sampradaya says, what the Shastra says? So how would you, respond to it? If some, parent said, can you admit my child in your institution, and, the child doesn't fit the whatever specifications or the requirements. So what would be your reference point to make
for
a decision?
me, Shastra, some parts of Shastras are definite. That will not change. Those are like eternal truths. So, for example, for anyone who has started their journey inwards, okay, so there are some measures like Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Niyama, Yama. Okay. So we have these Ashta Atma Gunas like Daya, Kshanti, Anasuya. So these all don't change at all. So there are some parts which are definite and which will not change at all. There are some parts which are talking about procedures. Okay. So those procedural parts are always dynamic. For example, if you take the very famous Satyanarayana Vrata. Satyanarayana Vrata is an evolved Anushtana. It is not told in any Shruti. It's not told in any Veda. It's not a Shrauta Karma. It's a Smarta Karma. Smarta Karma, which is created from Smriti. Smriti is nothing but Purana. So we have to be very vigilant and aware that our rishis did not tell that whatever we say you should do. They gave us all those principles in which we could dynamically change. We could change according to the situation. We could create something. But the inspiration is the same. Okay. But the other question which you have asked, whether a girl should learn Vedas or not. So we have to understand that if you are seeing Veda as just a song or a shloka, yes, you please learn it. You learn it like Bhagavad Gita. You can see the text and learn yourself. But if you are seeing that if mantras are chetanas, they react. If that is reacting, there are some processes and procedures which are created as a manual. It's just like if somebody wants to launch a rocket to the space, there are some procedures which are chalked down by ISRO or NASA or any other agency. We have to follow that because we don't know what happens if I don't do this. Okay. Not everything is materialistic. Not everything is material. So drishti of our rishis, okay, is different. They can see what we can't see. they can experience what we can't experience without sadhana. So if they are giving us certain procedures and protocols, why do you want to test it? So if a girl wants to learn Vedas as a song, okay, you please learn. If you want to use that somewhere as Veda mantra, then you please check with the manual. You please go through the protocol. That's what I say if somebody asks me. And one other thing I say that if somebody wants to learn Shastra, say learning Shastra is different, learning mantra is different, using that mantra is different. These three are in different areas. Okay. So if somebody wants to know the content of Veda, everybody is invited. Please do learn what is there in Vedas. If you are thinking that I should learn just like you learned, then please check once. That's what our ancestors told. They don't have any discrimination. Everybody is welcome to the moksha. Moksha is, so it is not shutting doors to somebody and opening doors to only those people who follow certain procedures. No, it's not like that. It's open for everyone. Please do experience the journey inwards. There are many ways. There is not only one way. But please be very cautious with those kinds of mantras which respond. It's not like any song, any film song or any other shloka. It is a mantra. It has very intense shakti and it is chetana. It's just like you and me. You respond to my views and I respond to your views. In the same way, mantra is also responding. So if you don't know that, please be aware. This is what I say.
One last question. I'm also my family is also part of Kanchi Matham, and Parmacharya says that one activity in which anyone who's part of our dharma should put a lot of emphasis on is the Upakarma and of young boys. So you probably are much more aware than me of how modern society is not paying a lot of attention to this. I mean, at the age prescribed or the practices that we should be doing once we do put the thread. How important is this ceremony in the Gurukula system? And how important should it be for the rest of society? Parmacharya says it's like a rebirth. Yes. So, what significance does this important phase have for our society?
Yes. So the title we get once you have the Upanayanam, the title we get is Dvija. Dvihi jayate iti dvijaha. So one who is born for the second time. For the first time, we all are born from our mothers. Okay. So this birth is related to flesh, blood, okay, muscle, bones, all these things. But the second time, when you are getting this birth, it is from your guru. It is from the womb called Jnana. So the first ceremony, which is very, very important for anyone who is initiated towards the inward journey, will be Upanayanam. Upasamipe Nayanam Upanayanam. Means getting nearer, going nearer to whom? Guru. Guru is the embodiment of knowledge. Once you are very near and staying with knowledge, so a new person is born. So he is very far from the ignorance and he is very near to the real truth. The what you say, we say Nijamaina Nijam in Telugu. So the most truthful content. Okay. So we have Brahma Yajnam and Upakarma. Both of them are very related. There are many relations to each other. Brahma Yajnam is that thing, it is a Nitya Karma, so we have to do that daily, where we are remembering the good which is done by our ancestors. So our ancestors are of three types. So we relate to three different kinds of energies. One is Devata Tattvam. The second one is the Rishi Tattvam. and the third one is the Pitru Tattva. So we gain energies from these three sources. So every day we remember all of them. We do the Tarpanam to all of them, and also we recite certain portions of each and every type of knowledge source. When I say knowledge source, it is Vedas. In the Vedas also you have Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and also you recite or you actually remember some portions in darshanas, in shastras, in Vedangas, from different Puranas also. So it is like reorienting yourself towards the actual goal of your life. Why are you like this? Why did the Creator or Paramatma gave you all these senses, gave you some mind? Why are you initiated towards Anushtanam? So it is like daily remembering what is your goal. And while you are performing this Upakarma is very, very important, because our ancestors have actually designed the training program in such a way that half of the time will be spent on memorizing something, knowing mantras, and half of the time will be used on the intention of those mantras, meaning of those mantras, utilizations of those mantras, and the background technical philosophies behind that. So it is well designed. It's not like just what you say, kantasthikaranam. That is not the whole process. So from Upakarma, he is again reinitiated towards those scriptures which are talking about the background technical knowledge, utilizations and applications of mantras from Upakarma, from Shravana Paurnami for Krishna Yajurvedis, from other, I think the next Paurnami for Rigvedis, Bhadrapada Paurnami for Rigvedis. So that is how they have designed. So it is very, very essential.
Do you personally feel there was a change in your life?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
of course, there is. I don't think there is a change, like there is a contrast, but I can experience the ananda in an intensified levels going further. So when you cut the clutter, they say, when you remove what is not needed, the focus and the vision and the experience you get is very pure and concentrated. So I can personally feel it, and that is why I have started this Gurukula also, to share it and create the next generation.
Thank you so much for this really stimulating conversation. It's nice to see somebody so much tejas and, having the energy, and I hope you go forward with great success. And I'm sure Indica Academy would be lovely, would be very happy to be part of your journey.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Aparna ji. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.